Good. Good evening and welcome to the Township Committee meeting of March the 26th of 2019. Ms. Borick, will you please call the roll?
Committeewoman Holmes.
Here.
Committeeman Lapani.
Here.
Committeewoman McCauley.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Thompson.
Here.
Mayor Delcourt.
Here.
Administrator Ferreira.
Here.
Attorney Willard.
Here. Please join me in a salute to the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be advised that in accordance with Section 5 of the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231 of the Public Law of 1975, the notice of this meeting was made by the posting on the bulletin board at the Hillsborough Township Municipal Complex and notifying the officially designated newspapers that this meeting would take place at the Hillsborough Township Municipal Complex at 8 p.m. on March the 26th of 2019. First up on our agenda, we have approval of minutes. May I please have an approval of the February 12th, 2019 regular session minutes?
So moved, Mayor.
Second.
Any comments from the dais? Any comments from the floor? Roll call, please.
Committeewoman Holmes.
Yes.
Committeeman Lapani.
Yes.
Committeewoman McCauley.
Abstain?
Deputy Mayor Thompson.
Yes.
Mayor Delcourt.
Yes. We'll move to reports from committee liaisons. First up, we have Committeewoman McCauley.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. First up this evening is a little update on the police. We'll be recognizing a little later on the agenda our top cops for 2018. But a little about the program. This year, there's several officers, as you'll see later on in the agenda, that each year our Township Police Department selects top cops from each patrol squad, and they are recognized for their exceptional performance and for the previous year served. The award recipients are determined based on a score devised from the annual job performance evaluations, along with the ranking from their prospective supervisors and peers. Top cops are formally recognized by the department. They receive an acknowledgement that goes into their files. In addition, they will have their names engraved on a plaque that's displayed here in our police department since its inception, since 1996. The Office of Emergency Management would like to remind you, spring is the time when planting and excavating begins. We have a couple of issues throughout the year usually where they're cutting lines or hitting pipes and things like that. So it's important to remember that call before you dig is actually the law. So just a reminder for that, there's a center that has been established to triage requests that are open 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. The phone number to call is easy, it's 811, or you can certainly call 1-800-272-1000. Again, that's 811, call before you dig to make sure the lines are marked appropriately in your properties. Also, just a reminder to our residents that at the school, high school next, I think it's Thursday,
Yes.
is the one,
Thursday and Friday.
for emergency management vehicles will be present on the premises. Do not be alarmed. There is a drill that they run every year called Every 15-Minute Program, and it brings awareness to the dangers of driving while under the influence of drugs and alcohol. It's an excellent program. If you get a minute, you can certainly attend it, but just don't be alarmed that you will see things maybe flying overhead or emergency vehicles coming into the school. Operation Secure Shred is sponsored by Somerset County Board of Cooperation with the County Department of Public Works and the Board of Chosen Freeholders. All events run from 9 to 1 p.m. or until the trucks are filled. It's rain or shine. So you can go over to the Somerset County Public Works Garage, which is at 410 Roycefield Road, and you can bring up to 6 bags or boxes of things containing paper that they can shred for you. So it's a secure shred program. It's excellent. It's a good way to clean out your closets and get your boxes over there, and it's a secure manner. Residents can, they have to show identification that you're a Somerset County resident, and the first event will be held this Saturday, March 30th, and again, it's at 410 Roycefield Road here in Hillsborough. And that's it for me this evening, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Committeeman Lapani.
Thank you, Mayor. So first off, the Rotary Club of Hillsborough offers a scholarship program and is now accepting applications for Hillsborough students. There's a few here in the audience.
They will once again provide financial support to 5 qualifying local students planning to extend their academic careers in college or vocational school. Please see the Friday e-newsletter for more information. We encourage you all to apply. It doesn't hurt to apply. Raritan Headwaters is hosting the annual stream cleanup, scheduled for Saturday, April 13th from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Registration is open and free to the public. The watershed-wide cleanup takes place in 38 municipalities and across 3 counties. Last year, over 1,600 volunteers removed over 13 tons of trash, preventing it from getting further into the river system and eventually the ocean. It would not be possible to accomplish such a project without your volunteer. From the tax assessor and finance, the first payment by the state of New Jersey for the homestead benefit has been received and applied to your May taxes. You will be receiving a small pink bill in the mail this week, which reflects the new amount due for your second quarter taxes. If your taxes are paid by your mortgage company, they have been notified as well. From the building department, spring is right around the corner, a popular time of year for your deck and pool installations. Make sure to obtain any required prior approvals from zoning and engineering before submitting your application to the building department. There are handouts available for both pools and deck applications in the building department. If you have any further questions, please contact the building department. And DPW, the Public Works Department has begun efforts to fix over 80 storm drains in preparation for the upcoming road resurfacing projects. This concerted effort will ensure that a quality job is performed and help the new surface last as long as possible. Repairing potholes continues to be a top priority, with several crews being deployed on a daily basis to make sure driving conditions are better and also continue their upkeep. And finally, senior curbside cleanup tickets are available at the Public Works Yard between 8 and 2 p.m. Monday through Friday. They are also available through the Social Service Department during senior chapter meetings. For more information on the cleanup programs, please visit the Public Works link off the Township website. It is also that time of year again. Seedlings will be available on the 27th of April at the Auten Road facility through the NJ Tree Recovery Campaign. 2 final things, Mayor. From the Business Advocate and the HBA, a reminder that the networking event at the Affinity Credit Union will be held on April 11th. You can sign up on the website for that. And lastly, from the Engineering Department, the Engineering Department would like to report they are preparing the bids for the long-awaited 2019 road paving program. This is a very aggressive paving program that's being done this year, and the bids should be completed in the next few weeks. Typically, the bidding process, which includes a review of contractors' references, bonding, insurance, contract signings, and scheduling, is approximately a 6 to 8 week cycle. After paving, actual paving should begin sometime May, June. Notices will be sent out a week or so in advance of paving to keep residents aware, since their driveway access may be limited during this construction. That's all.
Thank you. Committeewoman Holmes.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening. I attended the New Jersey Futures Redevelopment Forum 2019. New Jersey Future is a nonprofit, nonpartisan organization that promotes sensible growth, redevelopment, and infrastructure investments to foster vibrant cities and towns, protect natural lands and waterways, and enhance transportation choices, provide access to safe, affordable, and aging-friendly neighborhoods. Hillsborough can be a leader in sustainability, and it was all about sustainability. We should be encouraging mass transit, bike lanes, and a walkable downtown. Let's see. Wellness. On Tuesday, February 26th, the Hillsborough Mayor's Wellness Program, in collaboration with RideWise, an independent nonprofit organization dedicated to promoting and advocating for transportation choices that are efficient, safe, and sustainable, presented a program, The Benefits of Walking and How to Approach Long-Term Fitness. The Green Living and Wellness Fair. will be held on Saturday, June 1st, in conjunction with the YMCA Annual Hillsborough Hop. Mark your calendars to save the date. More information will be coming soon. That's all for now. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Deputy Mayor Thompson.
Thank you, Mayor. A couple quick things. First, from our Social Services Department, the Foothill Acres Nursing Home located on East Mountain Road is looking for performers in Hillsborough's Got Talent auditions for April 2nd. You can see the flyer in the e-news for more information about that. From our Recreation Department, you can start to kick off your running season with the annual Family Fun Run around the park on Sunday, April 28th. The cost is $25 for adults, $20 for children under the age of 12. You can register by March 29th to get your free t-shirt. Please visit our website, hillsboroughNJRecreation.org, for more details and to register for all of our programs. And if you want to keep your kids active this summer, you can send them to the Parks and Recreation Summer Camp. Our camp runs from June 24th through August 16th for children ages 5 to 13. We offer a tiny camp for children 4 to 5 who have not finished kindergarten. Registration is open and more details can be found on the Parks and Recreation website. And from Sustainable Hillsborough this evening, Hillsborough Township has been recognized by Sustainable Jersey as one of 14 towns featured as the March 2019 Sustainable Heroes. The 14 towns selected were all included in the first 34 towns to receive the inaugural Sustainable Jersey certificate in 2009. These towns have continuously maintained their certification as well. Sustainable Jersey recognizes the hard work and dedication for these towns, and their sustainable program leaders have demonstrated from the first 34 municipalities that registered to become certified in March 2009 to the 449 municipalities currently registered in 2019. Sustainable Jersey is inspired by the individuals at the local level who are contributed to a more sustainable New Jersey. And I think we have our chair in here tonight, Chris Abrupta, and one of our committee members, Ann Harris, from our Sustainable, and David Coyce, who's worked diligently in the program on behalf of the township. So thank you all for being here tonight. Thanks, Mayor.
You're welcome. Thank you. A couple things from me this evening. First of all, thanks everyone for indulging a little bit of a late start this evening. We usually start at 7:30. The high school had their National Honor Society induction ceremony today, and as a proud daddy, I got to sit and watch my daughter get inducted. So thank you for indulging us for 30 minutes. This past Sunday, I got the opportunity to spend some time at two events that are organizations that are really doing incredible work for people that are suffering from really debilitating diseases. My day started at CKO Boxing, where they run a program called Rock Steady Boxing, and they were celebrating their second anniversary at that location, and they run a program, internationally acclaimed program, for patients with Parkinson's disease. And the program, which basically helps them continue to work on their motor skills and fitness, core stability, has had profound effects on the symptoms of Parkinson's, and has really slowed the progression of many of the symptoms that they suffer from. Incredible program. It's run all over the world, and it's a program that we had there were about 30 patients there that are involved in the program that they do 3 or 4 times a week. It was really inspiring, and I appreciate the opportunity. It was Barbara Kelly and Denise Chexis run that program, and they're doing incredible work. A number of volunteers also supporting that. So I'd like to thank them, one, for inviting me, but more importantly, for their great work with patients with Parkinson's. Later that afternoon, over at Falcon's Nest on Falcon Road, I was joined by Committeewoman McCauley and Committeewoman Holmes at Hark's John Boskoski Memorial Event, and it's to support people with ALS. Deborah Fabricator invited us over there, and they ran a silent auction. The organization is a fundraising arm to support both patients and families of people that are suffering from ALS, which, if you're not aware, is a neurological disease that basically essentially paralyzes people within their body, and it's incredibly debilitating, and no known cures. So it was really nice to see people contributing their time and money and support to this organization and the work that they do to support people with ALS. So I just wanted to thank Deborah and the entire Harks team for the work that they've done and for inviting us to join them there. Hillsborough Township is joining towns across the country in encouraging residents to take the Wylands Foundation National Mayor's Challenge for Water Conservation that runs from April 1st through April 30th. And by saving water, our community saves energy, money, and valuable resources. It's one way we can do our part in the community and also win any number of prizes that they're offering, including $3,000 for your home utility payments, or you can help a local charity win a 2019 Toyota Highlander to help serve the community in the process. So let's show other cities around the nation how Hillsborough takes care of our planet. Make the pledge throughout the month of April at mywaterpledge.com, and make sure to stay updated on the progress at our e-news and social media, other forms of staying updated. We have a program being run with Borough Pride. The Borough Pride initiative grew from conversations with Dr. Lisa Antunes, who's the Assistant Superintendent of Hillsborough Township Public Schools, and the Hillsborough Education Association, which is related to the collaboration and stockholder connections that strengthen our schools and our community. Ms. Mulser, in conjunction with the New Jersey Education Association, designed a logo to capture the essence of these ideas. The logo is a heart with a representation of all community stakeholders that collaborate to make Hillsborough a town that truly cares about its residents. You can see the logo design there on the screens. I'd like to thank Deputy Mayor Thompson for his work with the Borough Pride Initiative and helping get this logo up and running. Hillsborough has diverse demographics, topography nestled in the heart of Somerset County, and a strong sense of community. The partnership between the residents, businesses, those that work in the community, and the HEA is another initiative that exemplifies Hillsborough as one of the best places to live in America. With us tonight, we have Mr. Henry Goodhue and Ms. Debbie Core. Mr. Goodhue is the president of the HEA. Ms. Core is the Pride chair. And they're here with us this evening to share some additional information on this initiative. I want to ask them to come up and share a few words with us. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Mayor, Deputy Mayor, for your assistance as well, and to all the township committee members as well for your assistance on this. As you can see from this logo, this really is the essence of who we are as a town and the remarkable community. And there really is no better meeting for us to be at than the one that we're currently at right now. You look around this room and you see almost every single stakeholder who's here. So I really would just like to thank you for embracing this with us. And this is one of the first initiatives of this type in all of the state, as far as I'm aware. So I'm very proud to be doing this in Hillsborough. I'm very proud to be doing this with our stakeholders. So again, I thank all of you for that. And as you noted, I'm with Debbie Core, who's one of our Pride Committee members. She actually has a few of the materials that we've produced, and if it's okay with the committee, we'll leave a couple of them on the back table.
Absolutely.
And there'll be more around town, but this is just a few little taste of what's out there. But thank you again, and I look forward to seeing where this is going. And thanks again for this time.
Thank you for your work on that. Appreciate it. Please, anyone that would like to pick up any of the samples we have back there, please feel free to do so as you exit later. Okay, just a reminder that the Hillsborough Township Credit Card Advisory Committee is still accepting applications for our grant program. Completed grant applications are due by Monday, April the 1st to the administration office. As many of you are aware, the program is at no cost to Hillsborough taxpayers, but is a result of the long-term dedicated partnership that we have with Affinity Federal Credit Union. The Hillsborough Credit Card has a rewards program that gives money back to the community, and we use that to invest in some of our nonprofits and charity organizations here in town. So any of those organizations that have a need for tangible goods, we ask you to please put your applications in, and hopefully we can get you some a grant award for your organization. There'll be some additional new information in Friday's e-news for all the details and benefits on that program. As always, you can stay connected with many options here in town, all the events and things that we do via Friday's e-newsletter and also our Twitter feed, TV 29, and the Hillsborough YouTube channel, which showcase our meetings, as well as Hillsborough The Good Life episodes, and of course our Hillsborough alerts for traffic and emergency notifications. If you haven't signed up for one or any of those, please go to the township website and you make sure you stay informed of things that are going on in town. We're going to move on to our proclamations tonight. We ask that you please, after you receive your recognition, if you would please return to your seat. We will pause after all the recognition are completed to allow for an orderly departure, so we don't disrupt the rest of the meeting, and give all the recipients their time to get their recognition. So first up, we have life-saving awards, which are going to be presented to Corporal Hendricks, Patrolman Engelhardt, and Officers Bastardo, Gorko, and Farrell. Please come forward, guys. So tonight's a special night for us in Hillsborough, and in particular the police department. As Committeewoman McCauley noted earlier, a little later we're going to have our Top Cops Award, but we also get the benefit, and I get the honor of presenting to these 5 fine officers for life-saving efforts that they've undertaken here in town. So Hillsborough police officers Joseph Bastardo, Patrick Farrell, Brian Gorka, Craig Hendricks, and Christopher Engelhardt have all been awarded the Department CPR Life Saving Award by Hillsborough Township Police Chief Darren Powell for being instrumental in reviving victims. Each of the officers on different occasions responded to a call of a person in need of medical assistance. The officers commenced CPR and life-saving measures, often including attaching a defibrillator. The valiant actions of Officers Bastardo, Farrell, Gorka, Hendricks, and Engelhardt serve as an example of the highest standards of Hillsborough Township Police Department through their heroism and willingness to help others. And the Hillsborough Township Committee extends its sincere congratulations and appreciation to Hillsborough Township police officers for saving the lives of several individuals and for being shining members of our community. Gentlemen, thank you very much for your efforts here and for all you do for the community. Thank you very much.
Glad to see these guys are very highly trained, and we train on this every couple of years of how to administer these life-saving techniques. However, when it actually happens, it is a very stressful situation, and these guys all stepped up and met the challenges, and for their efforts, there's family members that have their loved ones still with them, and I applaud them for that. Thank you.
Get them together. She's not dating.
I don't like to see it now. How would you like it?
Everybody scooch over.
Yeah, Mayor should
I'll get it.
go there.
3, there you go.
High five. Me too. I was like trying to manipulate.
Thank you.
That girl, Lois.
I learned from Maria.
Thank you. What do you need?
Okay, can I have the members of the Rutgers Cooperative Extension Program join us? Hillsborough Township, along with the Rutgers Cooperative Extension Program, received a 319H Clean Water Act grant from the New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection in 2014 to address areas of concern along the Royce Brook, a tributary to the Raritan River. The project is focused on engaging municipal staff and residents to adopt green infrastructure practices and techniques to help reduce flooding and improve water quality in the Royce Brook and ultimately in the Raritan River. Patricia Rector, environmental agent for RCE, has been the project lead working alongside Dr. Chris Abrupta, PhD, PE Extension Specialist in Water Resources with RCE and Water Resources staff, and Tobias Horton, Extension Specialist with Rutgers Department of Landscape Architecture. They worked closely with the Township Committee, Hillsborough's Sustainability Director, the Department of Public Works, Department of Parks, Sustainable Hillsborough Steering Committee, the Environmental Commission, the RCE Master Gardeners, the Stony Brook Millstone Watershed Association, and Township residents. Pat Rector has been with the Rutgers Cooperative Extension since 2009, focusing her efforts in disconnection of stormwater, aquatic invasive species, and youth and water programming. She is also the statewide program director of the RES program at Duke Farms and the Rutgers Environmental Stewards Program, which has resulted in numerous Hillsborough-based projects throughout the years. She has conducted community-based educational program, teacher and service training for next-generation science standards. The Hillsborough Township Committee recognizes the Rutgers Cooperative Extension for its many contributions to Hillsborough Township in its efforts to reduce flooding and clean the water of the Royce Brook. The Township Committee also recognizes Patricia Rector for her outstanding service and wishes her well in her future endeavors, and thanks for her dedication. Congratulations.
Yeah, I'll always take the microphone. So I've been working with Pat for a very long time, and she retires on Friday. So we're very excited about her and her future career as a photographer and dog chaser. She's got a dog, and I guess her new husband too. So it's a wonderful time for her. Thank you, Pat, for all your work. I appreciate it.
She's a doer.
Thank you.
Okay, can I have Arjun Jain come on up? Local student and hockey player Arjun Jain was diagnosed with leukemia on August 19, 2018, taking him away from school and the sport he loves. While Arjun began his courageous fight, he also began a blog, I Am Arjun Jain, chronicling his journey. Through his daily blog, Arjun has shown incredible spirit, display of courage and maturity beyond his years. Arjun, through his actions and affiliation as an honorary member of the Hillsborough High School ice hockey team, has brought awareness about leukemia to the public, has demonstrated great resiliency during this time of adversity, and serves as a role model to others. In the midst of his battle with cancer, Arjun continually expresses an interest in his blog to help others and wishes to make a difference in his own words by showing them that staying positive can help you survive all the tough times. The Hillsborough Township Committee commends Arjun Jain for his courage, bravery, compassion, and spirit. He's a brave little guy right here, and we appreciate the work he does for spreading a positive message, and we wish you all the best. Get well soon, okay, so you can start playing hockey again. I know those guys want you to get back and join them. Would you like to say something?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mayor, I just want to play that video real quick. That video, sorry, because they didn't get to see it.
Oh.
These guys.
The guys that are in it?
I don't know why there's not sound. Sorry. How do I make sound? Sorry. Sugar. Oh, there it is. Dim the lights, okay. Sorry, I'm getting the sound.
It's almost there.
I can't get to the thing.
Almost had it. There.
We can help. Yay!
It'll be in Friday's e-newsletter with a link for you guys, if it hasn't been already. I can't get to that button. Okay, sorry.
Okay.
It worked last time.
Sound won't come up, Frank.
All right, can I have the Hillsborough High School ice hockey team come on up? Come on over. Got lots of room.
Well, let me make sure it's okay with me.
Don't want to block anybody, the parents will yell at me. All right, look at that. The Hillsborough High School ice hockey team is part of the larger ice hockey community. Arjun Jain's courageous fight against leukemia and his love of hockey caught the attention of ice hockey team member Mike Pancheri, who approached Coach Chris Tommins about recognizing Arjun and making him an honorary member of the hockey team. You see, he's got his own special jersey there. The Hillsborough High School ice hockey team, led by head coach Chris Tommins and assistant coach Chris, I'm going to say Chris M., consists of...
No, Eagle Light check. He's not here. Eagle Light, he's not here. You gotta say please.
No,
Matt Palmer.
Paul Fedora. Michael Pantry.
Jason Wolf.
Jack Walsh.
Leighton Soros.
Jamie Gaffney.
Mike Larico.
Keegan McGowan.
Jason Larico.
Mike Jandoli.
Jacob Roseman.
Holden Sack.
Brendan Taramba. Jack Spitzer.
Brock Forrest.
Andrew Ely.
Nathan Wolf.
Nick Antonoff.
Robert Renner.
Nick Hepfinger.
Jake Silver. Patrick Lurkey.
We're going to have to work on our microphone efficiency. Coach Tomlin designated the December 7th game as their Hockey Fights Cancer game in association with the NHL's Hockey Fights Cancer initiative in November. At that time, Arjun became an honorary member of the Hillsborough ice hockey team, dropping the ceremonial first puck and joining the rest of his new teammates on the score sheet as number 2. The Hillsborough Township Committee commends all the members of the Hillsborough High School ice hockey team for providing a memorable experience for Arjun and creating a sense of community and camaraderie. We are proud of the honor they have brought to themselves, their team, and the community through their compassion and their thoughtfulness. Oh, and also, we'd like to congratulate them on a hell of a season. The team finished 21-7-1 and advanced to the NJSIA Public A State Final, which was held at the Rock in Newark. We had the opportunity at that night, which you saw, at least saw on the video, maybe you didn't hear it. They also got when we had Hillsborough Community Night at the Devils, the hockey team was also being honored for playing in the state final that day. But really what you're seeing here tonight is what it's all about and why Hillsborough continues to be one of these amazing places to be. You have a group of young men that, in addition to their outstanding athletic achievements, recognize what it is to be in a community and have involved themselves in helping this little guy with this fight against cancer and involving themselves in the community in a way that we should all be very proud. So gentlemen, I am extremely proud to be your mayor, and a tremendous season, but more importantly, I thank you very much for all the work that you've done in the community. I hope your parents are as proud of you as I know my colleagues and I are. Congratulations. All right, hold on. We're going to get the official copy. Somebody's going to hold it too.
So are you going to come in the front? So I can get everybody in?
You're fortunate enough to sit right now.
Take it.
This side, you're going to have to turn sideways and get it a little closer.
That's it, man. Take control.
Okay. All right, ready? Don't move. And then I'm going to get out of the way. Okay, hold on. Don't move. All right, here.
That way. Get done.
Yeah, look. Good idea. Excuse me.
Actually, hold on. I meant to pass my code with one more thing. Sorry.
Thank you to the committee and the mayor and everybody here, but this was all started from Mike. He contacted me. He was the first one to let me know about Arjun, so I know that he probably wants to say something, so I'll let him talk too.
Thanks, Coach. I'd like to thank the mayor for having us and the boys around me for working incredibly hard this season. When I first heard about Arjun's story, it just really hit me. And, I really wanted to do something to help him. And so talked to Coach. And, I'm just really glad we were able to put something together for him. And we just want him to keep fighting and joining us on the ice sometime soon. So best of luck, and we're all behind you.
Good evening. My name is Vishal and I'm Arjun's dad. And I just want to say a few words that, Arjun is an inspiration for himself and not for, we've been looking at him and how he is handling this, it's a true inspiration for us. Like taking 7 to 8 pills at once, taking blood, taking out from his veins and from his port, like every hour. Like when we were in the hospital and he stayed there for every hour to make sure that how the leukemia is being transformed from one part to the other part of the body. But he is handling in such a way, it's a total true inspiration for us as well. And secondly, I would like to thank to the Hillsborough community the way that they are being supporting us. I still remember that day that we got the news from the doctor. We were thinking like we are just husband and wife, how we are going to handle this. But once we come to know, the words goes around and Hillsborough people, they came to our house. The officers, they came to our place. The people, those who are standing here, they reached out to me day and night. Coach was been talking to me on a regular basis. So this is the community that we live in. And Mayor and Deputy Mayor and the committee members, really thankful to you. The community that what we have built here is tremendous and wonderful. We moved to the Hillsborough community just 5 years ago. And now we are truly living in a Hillsborough. And I go to the hospital every day, and when I talk to people and the different parents, and I said to them, you need to move to the Hillsborough. That's a place that you need to be. So thank you very much for building such a beautiful and wonderful community. Thank you.
Good. Guys, congratulations. Thank you very much. Great season.
Good job, guys.
Great job. Oh.
Little buddy.
Hey, Coach. You do have one first.
All right, top down.
You do it.
Chief. The button.
Okay. Pam, who's got the, Kirsten? We're bringing the dogs in?
Way to ruin it.
I think it's too late. We gave it up.
He's on a party.
Just bear with us one sec.
He's on a 1079. He's a little break.
I think he's after my job. Okay. Hillsborough Township is proud to now have 2 official working K-9 officers. Hillsborough officially has a K-9 unit. In a collaborative effort between Officer Engelhardt and Ms. Carlin Dunn, applied technology teacher at Hillsborough High School, a logo contest for one of her classes was initiated. The result was some very creative and thought-provoking logos for our K-9 unit. The contest involved creating a front pocket-sized logo and then a larger one on the back to be adorned on T-shirts and sweatshirts. And tonight I'm proud to announce the winners. For the front of the logo, Leah Geronda. And the back winner is Logan Miller. Leah is a senior at Hillsborough High School and is the only student at Hillsborough High School enrolled in the advanced level graphic arts class. She has created several projects at the high school, including a cookbook for its baking class that is being sold to the public. Outside of school, Leah works for the Hillsborough Farm, managing their website, social media, photographing events, and helping with the daily running of the produce market. She will be attending Kutztown University in the fall to major in communications and design. And Logan is a sophomore at the high school in the visual and graphic arts class. He's an avid soccer player, and he plays for the Hillsborough High School team and Global Premier Soccer. He's also a member of Hillsborough's winter and spring track teams. In his spare time, Logan is a referee for youth soccer leagues, and although unsure of his future, Logan plans on attending a four-year college after graduating from high school. So you can see the logos there we have on the screens, and we've got a couple of examples of the shirts here. Really impressive, and it's great to be able to have them now for the unit that we've got. We've been very fortunate with our canine units. We got two incredible dogs now, and they do wonders for our community. So I'd like to thank Officer Engelhardt for initiating this project. I think he just walked out with one of our canines, and of course, congratulations to our winner, and I'd like to thank Harlan Dunn for her efforts in getting this started. So, would you guys like to say anything?
Thanks. So I'd like to thank Officer Engelhardt for even coming to me with this and the police department for this opportunity. This is a pretty unique area of study, and I have so many talented students who are infinitely more talented than I am, so it's kind of funny that I'm the one teaching them. However, it's a unique field, and they don't really get the opportunity for things like this too often to showcase their talent, so it's just a really cool opportunity, and we just want to thank you guys for that.
Huh?
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. That one is.
Oh, no, I was going to say hold up the front, yeah.
Yeah.
And then, Logan, why don't you hold it to the back?
Find the goldfish.
Apparently, there's a little competition between Freddie and Marco.
I just need you guys to get a little closer.
I would like to just real quickly congratulate the winners of the competition and thank Officer Chris Engelhardt for setting this whole thing up. And as we're talking about our police canine unit, our police canine unit would not have been possible without the generosity of Dr. Cesar DeParco, so I think that's something we have to recognize as well.
Don't forget your chips. Come on, please.
He's waiting for the goldfish.
We're good, right? Yeah. Oh, we're going to do the top cop. Why don't we all come down?
Still got 20 minutes left.
Why don't we come down? Why don't you guys all come down?
The top cops?
Yeah. Why don't you guys all come down?
How about Commissioner and Deputy Commissioner? All of us?
We have one last recognition due tonight. As we noted earlier, we have our top cops to recognize this evening. So I'd like to call up Patrolman McCarthy and Patrolman Peltak. Patrolman McCarthy has been a member of the Hillsborough Police Department since 2008 and has served in the Patrol Division during the entirety of that time. He is the recipient of several command citations as well as supervisory commendations. He also serves as one of the department's field training officers and has recently become a certified firearms instructor. This is his third time being selected as top cop, having previously been selected in 2015 and 2017. And Patrolman Peltak has been a member of the Hillsborough Police Department since 2013 and has served in the Patrol Division during the entirety of that time. He is the recipient of several command citations as well as several supervisory commendations. He received the MEAD Law Enforcement Distinguished Service Award in 2016 for his efforts in enforcing DWI laws. Patrolman Peltak also serves as one of the department's field training officers and has recently been certified as a drug recognition expert. This is his first time being selected as top cop for Hillsborough Township. Ladies and gentlemen here, I'd just like to congratulate these two fine officers. One of the things that we've recognized and been able to see very clearly over the last couple of years is we've got tremendous officers, both at the highest levels and coming up through the ranks, and these two certainly exemplify that process. They are regularly recognized by their superiors, and I'm very proud to be able to provide them with this proclamation and recognition this evening. Congratulations to both of you. Chief.
I would also like to congratulate Officers McCarthy and Peltak. I think one of the most important things that's unique to this recognition is that the input that comes in through their peers, and that's something that I'm sure is very important to them, as well as the leadership and supervision of the department. Congratulations. Going forward, it's going to be a new tradition that the chief of police buy you lunch at the establishment of your choice the next time you're working, and also that he vacates his parking spot for the month of April, and it's given to you guys when you're coming to work for your personal cars.
Pick somewhere nice for lunch, okay? Don't let them. Congratulations, officers. It's a tremendous honor, and we're very proud of you. Thank you very much for your work. Okay, as promised, we're going to take a brief break, and we'll allow everyone to leave if they would like to. We know we started a little late tonight, so it's starting to get a little later for some. You are more than welcome to stay if you would like, but we certainly understand if you'd like to leave, and we'll resume our meeting in a couple of minutes. Thank you very much, and congratulations to all of our recipients tonight. Okay, we have no new business this evening, so we're going to move right to public comment on new business and matters that are not on the agenda. If anyone in the public has any comment tonight on matters that are not on the agenda, now please come forward. Okay, seeing none, we'll move to public hearings. First up, we have a public hearing on ordinance 2019-06, which is an ordinance of the Township of Hillsborough, County of Somerset, State of New Jersey, amending Chapter 188, the Land and Use Development, Article 5, District and Standards, which is Section 188.113.4, the GV Green Village District of the Code of the Township of Hillsborough. So this proposed ordinance would amend the Green Village District to permit the construction of an additional 130 dwelling units in the Brookhaven Lofts development located on Route 206. This would increase the total number of units on the site from 469 to 599. However, of that total, 143 units would meet our affordability requirements. The amendment would make the approval of the additional dwelling units contingent upon the developer gaining approval to build a hotel on the tract with a minimum of 100 guest units. That was part of the original process that we went through on the planning board, was to also have a hotel, and that's a permitted use in the GV district. So the proposed ordinance will now be sent to the planning board for final comment. May I have a motion to open the public hearing on ordinance 2019-06?
So move, Mayor?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Is there any discussion from the dais?
I just have one comment. I just have a question about, I know this is a zoning ordinance, and, you know, I don't really have a problem with it. It's Phase 2. I just have some concerns about their lack of compliance with the ordinances of Phase 1, such as the sidewalks that they had agreed to do for 206 for pedestrians and bikes. And I know that this is a safety issue that we're all, you know, involved with. So I'm concerned about, you know, voting on ordinance for Phase 2 when we haven't had them complete what they had said they would do for Phase 1. So that was something that I wanted to bring up. There's no sidewalks.
Well, typically, the process that we go through with projects such as this, the phases can overlap at times, so it's not necessarily that everything that they've tried to do is complete, but what we're trying to do is implement the Phase 2 phase of this process because of the affordable housing requirements that we have
Right.
that are.
So what you're saying is that this might be addressed during Phase 2, and that when it's complete, they'll probably have the sidewalks?
Yeah, just because we're introducing Phase 2 doesn't mean that they're complete with Phase 1.
Okay.
There's still a concurrency that can occur there.
Okay. Thank you, Mayor.
You're welcome. Did that answer your question?
Yes.
Okay. Anything else from the dais?
I'm going to reserve my comments for now.
Okay. Any comments from the floor?
Public.
Susan Gulliford, Hunt Club Road.
Hi, Susan.
I have a couple of questions. Hold on 1 minute.
Susan, why don't you keep it in there? It might be easier to then.
Yeah, as long as I can. On A3, the number of low and moderate income units, 143. I noticed that this had changed from an original in 2010. It went from 138 down to 117. Now we're going back up to a minimum of 143, but I didn't really understand the reasoning for that. Another question I had on the affordables is...
Yeah, well, I think one question at a time is appropriate, but number one, the reason it's increasing is because the obligation that's been handed down from the state has continued to increase, and the option is whether or not we put them in this spot, or we got to tear up a whole nother spot of land to meet our obligation.
So in another round since 2010, the obligation went up for the township.
Well, keep in mind that what started to be built there is from sins that were committed 10, 15 years ago. So we're now still playing catch-up for all the lack of building that was done in the 90s, early 2000s, and we're still fixing, I think we're still on round 2, some of the things that we're still trying to fix. I mean, that's the reality. I mean, if people got their way, and there's still a lot of people suing places all across the street, they want us to build 2,000 plus affordable housing units, which, as we've talked about many times, that's like 10,000 units being built in this town, which
So-
is insane to even begin to discuss, but
We're
that's a
basically
reality.
still zoning by blackmail, so to speak.
It's 100%
Do
zoning
what
by
we want,
blackmail.
or, yeah.
It
okay.
is, that is a very good way to put it. Because if we don't zone the way that the courts or the state of New Jersey has indicated that we should, as you know, the developers get to come in and do a builder's remedy lawsuit and get to run wild over any municipality. We've been lucky so far in terms of them not winning in court. Think of what would have gone on between Ann Vans Middleworth Park and the Mountain View if certain developers got their way with how many units they wanted to build. What was the original number they wanted there? It was almost 1,000 homes they wanted to build
More
there.
than that, I think.
Yeah, that was
So-
the meeting they
Yeah.
had over at the firehouse. I was
Yes, it
covered
was.
that.
Yep, good memory.
But just to be clear, the extortion is from from the state, not from the developers. That, they're the ones that are forcing this requirement upon us.
Well, maybe the state kind of gave them the idea they could do it.
Maybe
The support,
state, I'm
the
sorry.
support. Maybe the state gave the developers the idea, that it seemed like a good idea to say, give us what we want or we're going to sue you. A builder's remedy lawsuit.
Yeah.
Okay, in this particular development, when it was before the board, Mr. Hiller, I believe is his name, and I discussed the fact that he was putting all of his affordables in one building. In fact, the board at the time, he wanted to also put a different finish on the building where the affordable people lived, and the board said, don't do that. So are we also going to have him be a little more modern this time and distribute them, or is that something that would happen if he was before, for example, Board of Adjustment or Planning Board? Can it be written into this, or does it something that would be somewhere else?
It's, as in the existing zone, they are dispersed. I'm pretty sure, David, keep me honest on that, yes. So they're not, it's not contained to one or two buildings. They are dispersed throughout the development.
If this passed and he got the additional units, would he have to reappear with new traffic studies, new community impact statements and analysis, that type of thing?
Yes, for the final site plan, yes.
Okay. When you say a tract area, that includes, he has already subdivided once, correct?
Yes.
Yes. It's okay. I couldn't find the notes. So he already has 2 lots in the tract, and one contains all the residential units, and one has all the retail in it. Again, I guess when it went before the board, when he was planning, that would not be you, that would not be part of this, that would be part of his appearance before another board.
Yeah, but I'm sorry, what's the question?
Would he be appearing, would it affect this ordinance? Is it something you would have to do tonight, or is this something that would just go before another board when he presented his plans for the additional units?
It would go before the planning board. Yeah,
Planning
this is
board,
just
okay.
This is just the zoning plan that would allow us to, that would allow what's permissible there, but the site plan and any changes to it would still have to go to the planning
Yeah.
board.
It says the tract shall not be subdivided into more than 4 separate lots. He started out with 1 lot, he's already subdivided once, he has 2 lots now. He's allowed 3 more subdivisions?
No.
It says, no, he would be
2.
allowed 2 more.
2 more.
He's allowed to have
Correct.
4 lots, not 4 subdivisions. I know last time he said it was a financial decision to subdivide. What would be the reasons for having this in here?
So, when this was in front of planning board, the issue was really one of, and it's typical of a construction project, that as you have multiple phases, the developers need to kind of close their financing on those individual phases. So, in many cases, the lots are what is backing the funding that allows them to complete the project. I can't state specifically if that's, the sole reason there, but that's not atypical in a large construction project.
He can't get the additional units without the hotel, is what I understood?
Correct.
And without the approval for the hotel?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else from the floor?
Mayor, if I could just say a couple
Yes.
things real quick. Normally, or I think on many occasions, you've heard me go on about affordable housing and talk about it a little more in depth. And we do have someone from the state here tonight. We have someone, Roy Fryman, so thank you for coming, Hillsborough resident. Appreciate you being here. I have on many occasions spoken to him, discussed, dialogued, yelled at each other about affordable housing, to the betterment of both of us, I think, to get a better understanding where we both come from on this. But I will say that he just handed me a piece of legislation that he's introducing that would reduce our moderate income housing, which is one of the levels. If you remember, there's moderate, low, extremely low housing. So I'm reading through it now. It's 30 some odd pages, so I'm only on page 6. But anything, I think, a tool in our arsenal to reduce our number, we appreciate. And so I don't know if he has anything to add on that. That's.
Hi, Assemblyman, how are you?
Great, thanks for having me. This is an issue that an angst, a problem that doesn't just affect Hillsborough, it affects a lot of the communities. A lot of municipalities have voiced a problem, a concern of saying, how do we effectively manage the mandates that have been passed down? There is a legitimate, authentic interest in providing affordable housing for all. The overarching philosophy is that no one should be discriminated against based upon income and be shut out from a community based upon income. There should be housing available for all at all different income levels. And that has been the philosophy that's been tried to be implemented. But what we have now is we have numbers that are being presented to municipalities that are, in some scenarios, just completely unreasonable. And on top of that, no one has taken a comprehensive step back and saying, what would the state of New Jersey look like if this actually occurred? What would be the impact on demographics? What would be the impact of the waterways, the sewer systems, the roads? And by the way, if we build it, will people actually want to live there in the volumes that occur? Where are the people going to come from? To fill up all of this housing that has to be built across the state. Having said that, right now, there are very few tools, if any, available to municipalities as to how to manage what's in front of them. I'm introducing, and I've introduced actually, this is not introducing, it was introduced, a tool that you can use. I am not presenting the solution, because there is no one solution. This is a problem that is in decades in the making. I'm not coming with the cure for cancer. This is just it's going to take a number of steps to help. As the Deputy Mayor spoke about, in here is the ability for a municipality to speak with another municipality to accept up to 50% of the obligation here, to be able to go to another municipality. And that is to be able to reduce the obligation here if the other municipality wishes to accept it. It would allow the other municipality to receive funds so they can actually do some development that they wish to have. The reason for doing it at the moderate income level, the workforce housing level, is because it helps with the economics on both sides. And so this is our first step. I'm looking at it and saying, what can I do to begin the process of helping? There's been an outcry saying we need help. This is not the cure, but it gives you a tool that you didn't have before, and we're going to keep on pushing forward.
They used to have it. They used to have this tool, and they used to be able to transfer the credits to other towns that would be in need of it, transitional towns, downtowns, train lines, et cetera, and the state did away with that. So hopefully they'll be willing to open it up again.
This has some of that philosophy behind it with important nuances that are different from it. It is, as I mentioned before, it's at the moderate income level. It also requires a little bit more authenticity behind it, so to ensure that housing gets built. We have DCA behind it to say that before a sending municipality can get relief or get on their credits, there has to be a workable plan put in place, rather than just sending off of the money. The money that gets sent is sent from the cost at the sending district, not the receiving district, to again build out the authenticity behind it. So there's important oversight that was lacking and a little bit more credibility built, that created the bad reputation that the original plan had and had it fall apart. So we don't want to repeat that. And by the way, that is exactly, some people are going to push back hard on this one because of some of the ills from the last go-around.
Assemblyman, thank you for that. Certainly any tools that can be provided to us are welcome. You know, not to look a gift horse in the mouth, but you know, the larger issue remains, and one that we really are struggling with for not just Hillsborough, but I know all of our neighboring municipalities and those throughout the state, that the issue is one of there's simply too much of a requirement that's being placed by Fair Share Housing with no, as you noted, no plan to understand what the total impact would be across the state, whether or not the housing would actually be utilized or not, what it will do to the infrastructure, what it will do to local municipalities in terms of the services that they need to provide. And you know, I hope your colleagues, I appreciate your effort in trying to at least create some tool. I hope your colleagues will recognize that and join you in providing municipalities with some tools. But the fact of the matter is, as municipalities, we're underwater on these initiatives, and we've got to figure out a way to lessen the burden that we are taking on, because New Jersey has already becoming unlivable in many ways, and this will only exacerbate that problem.
Mayor, you and I agree, and that's why we're working together to do something about it.
So thank you for that.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other comments from the floor? Entry.
Tuyen Lei, Core Ivy Lane, and I'd like to thank Assemblyman Fryman for that legislation, because it is a problem in New Jersey. I just wanted to better understand the current obligation for COA, because
It's a comment section, right?
what?
Yeah, for, in general, or as it relates to this ordinance?
So if this new phase would provide another 143 units, then how much does it lower our COA obligation?
Well, we're still working with Fair Share and the court master on that final plan. We don't have a definitive number yet, so when we have that, we'll obviously share that publicly. But we don't know, but we know the obligation will be certainly significant and more than the last round, but we're trying to limit it as much as possible.
So the last round you're referring to when we had a consultant?
Yes, back in 2000 and,
Right.
what was the year? 10, 9?
I think it
Well,
was
we've had-
2008.
There was one round in 8, and then there was because that was the Christie year that he got rid of COA.
Disregarding
And then
the
this
ordinance, Bill.
lawsuits. Yeah. So 2008-ish. 8-ish.
Just checking.
So essentially, it reduces those number of units from the top. So the extra 150 units, it just takes that number down 150 to be exact of what the number is, but it still goes towards that number as the bottom line.
But the beauty
It's
here is
helping
if the towns don't do anything, if the towns say, let's wait till you get your final number, any one of these developers can come in and start suing and saying, we're not planning properly for the development of affordable housing. So you're in a complete catch-22 that if you don't plan, you get sued for lacking a plan. But if you plan too far ahead, then you're getting too far down the road without knowing your obligation.
Right. No,
I
I
can
thought-
assure you, looking at these numbers, we're still not there yet for what we have to go for according to the state's current plan.
So yes, I
We're not
was
there
thinking
yet.
of it as good news because in 2008, the number was 491 units. So then
Yeah.
you already had phase one of this.
Yeah, but this has nothing, the
There
obligation that
were-
we had in that plan, those obligations were, we had the plan in place to meet that. This is now achieving to the next level, the next
next
phase
level,
of the process.
So we don't
And
even
remember,
have-
there was lawsuits since then, too. There was the whole vacant land analysis that was completely flawed that happened in 2009 or 10, where they were taking cemeteries, highway medians, and including that into your vacant land analysis, which was
Yeah.
completely crazy. And they were doing that, and they were looking at that. I mean, we have environmental areas that are wetlands that are being considered. You look at the Highlands, and they are literally taking area in the Highlands to build affordable housing when we've had a state law for years protecting the Highlands, where you're not allowed to build there unless you have, it's like one house per 50 acres or something, or 25 acres, I think the final number was. Yet, we're going to mass zone in the Highlands, which is one of the biggest watersheds for the state of New Jersey, all in the name of affordable housing. I mean, this is completely across the state. So, yeah, the number is in flux. It's not done yet. Love to tell you what the number is, but when Fair Share is suing and saying you deserve 2,000 units, affordable housing units that's being built in town, that's the numbers they talk about, 2,000. So, and remember, it's 2,000 units, but then we're lucky that we're getting the 28, 29 set aside for affordable housing. Some towns are getting 23%, 21% set aside. So you look at those numbers, you're looking at 10,000 units being built in some towns when you get a 2,000 affordable housing unit obligation. You sat on the school board. Can you imagine 10,000 new units
No.
coming to town?
No.
I mean, that's the reality here. So,
Overrun. Okay, so, just this current ordinance, it says that the purpose of GV, or the Green Village Zone, is to provide for affordable housing at a location that provides access to employment areas through agency to major roadways and/or public transportation. So this made me have a flashback, because in 2012, I went to the planning board, and I said, if this is the objective, then where are the sidewalks on the plan? And then where is are we moving towards access to public transportation? So this development has already been built. We don't see it, and we don't see a hotel, we don't see retail space, which is what was presented in 2012.
But you're making the assumption that it's complete, and it's not.
Okay,
The project is not complete. This is just allowing for the build-out of what Phase 2 is going to look like.
because again, if you don't start planning, you get sued.
No, I'm...
So you have to set up these plans, or else the developers come in and sue and saying you don't have enough plans.
Phase 1, but when Phase 1 is complete, and all of the, check-offs are completed in the plan, then, we have to ensure that the requirements that were set by the planning board have all been met. That's part of the responsibility of the municipality. That will occur, but Phase 1 is not yet complete, which is why, to say that there's things that they haven't done, they may not have done them yet, but the phase is not complete. And this is simply to allow us to work towards the next phase of what we know is going to be a requirement for us as it relates to affordable housing. And as part of that, one of the things we lack in town is a viable hotel. When we're going to add another one here in terms of what's going to be put in here, which was always contemplated in the plan.
Mayor, also, one of the stipulations is that hotel has to be built at the same time as those units. So they
Right, I
cannot,
see. Yeah,
they can't
you're
build the
tying it
units
in.
and then the hotel has to be built at the same time. So therefore, to answer your question, it is in the plan. And part of the public transportation is also the availability of it from the county. So, we don't have busing. So if the county doesn't provide public transportation, all we can do is build it. They have to come, so to speak. So, but the hotel is part of the project, and it has to be done at the same time.
Okay.
Okay?
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mary
Hi.
Bisberg, 4 Hickory Hill Road. Just to sort of take off a little bit on what Joanne said.
Can you please speak into the mic?
Just
Thank you.
Just
to take off a little bit on what Tuyan said. This community went through planning March 22nd, 2010. That's when the approval was. That's 9 years ago. So I understand you saying that it's not built yet, that phase 1 is not built. But why would we not have sidewalks for 7 years and put people in harm's way? I don't know if anybody's driven up there and actually gone through, but the builder agreed to do those sidewalks 9 years ago. So this has nothing to do with affordable housing, except for the fact that people that live in affordable housing might need public transportation and might need to walk out to 206. There really is a county service because we have Scoot. There's no reason that Scoot couldn't stop there, but you can't stop there now. You know, you have to completely go into the unit and come back out. It's very dangerous, and I don't know if you've driven there and seen it, but you know it's in a narrow part of 206, and there really is, there's a slightly larger curb in one area, but I don't know why we can't hold the developer's feet to the fire to get this done, because this was agreed to so long ago.
But it's not done. They're still building it. They're not done with the phase. You understand that, correct?
So you're saying that they've committed to do
It's in their plan.
sidewalks
It's in the
by
plan.
when?
It's in the signed-off plan and the resolution and agreement that was done for phase 1.
And they have escrows with the town, and I'm looking at David, they still have escrows that are still outstanding, that they don't get their money back until...
May I interject one?
Sure.
You got to come up to the mic, though, Dave.
We're talking about, yes, first of all, whatever was approved on the site plan has to be built. But keep in mind, this is part of the DOT widening project. Things may have changed since 2010. There's a jug handle going to be constructed opposite the entrance to Green Village. So the question of sidewalks becomes a little more complicated because DOT had originally intended to put the jug handle on the Brookhaven side, but they put the stormwater basin. So there's a lot of things going on here. It's not just build a sidewalk. DOT is involved in this case, and the final design of 206 in that case has to be fleshed out before we can see if the sidewalk will even fit there.
Thank you.
Thank you, David.
I think she was talking about if you're in the unit and you want to walk out to 206, that there's no sidewalks within the unit, and they're just, one way, there's room for a car, and the other way, there's room for a car. So I think what she was talking about was there.
Whatever's on the site plan that was approved, they have to build.
They have to build.
Yeah.
So like if they agreed to put in 846 trees to be planted, and 80% would be 6 inches to 12 inches
Whatever they're
in caliber,
required to do, they have to do.
and we'll check on that?
Yeah, as a matter
That's
of fact,
all part of the plan.
They're not complete yet. The project is far from
Because the trees they have in there are still like very,
Thank you, David.
1 inch.
On the process.
And that's David Maskey, our planning director, for anyone that doesn't know David. Any other comments from the floor? Okay. Before we move to a roll call, maybe just real quick, it's clear to me, and one of the things I know we've been talking about, were you going to say something? Do we need to do something for protocol?
No, go ahead.
Okay. One of the things that has become increasingly clear is there is still significant confusion amongst the public around our affordable housing issues, our requirements, things that we are tasked with, the requirements placed on us by the state, and the limitations that we have as a municipality in order to fight back. But I think one of the things that would be very helpful for the residents, and I think allow us to make sure everyone is aware of the challenges that we are facing, is to provide a town hall session for the residents in terms of our affordable housing and what our obligations are and what the requirements as a result of those obligations will be. So I am going to task Administrator Ferreira with coordinating that, and we will organize a Mayor's Town Hall to work through our affordable housing requirements, limitations, mandates, all the things that we are struggling with, so that everyone can understand exactly what the state mandates have meant to us and the impact they're having on our decision-making and our ability to maintain home rule.
I will take care of that, Mayor.
Thank you. Okay, so with that, can I have a motion to close the public hearing?
So
And
moved, Mayor.
adopt, sir.
I'm sorry.
Close and adopt, please.
Close and adopt ordinance 2019-06.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Committeewoman Holmes?
Yes.
Committeeman Lapani?
Yes.
Committeewoman McCauley?
Yes?
Deputy Mayor Thompson?
Yes.
Mayor Delcor?
Yes. Okay, we're going to move to the introduction of new ordinances. First is ordinance 2019-08, an ordinance amending Chapter 145, which is the Construction Codes Uniform, Section 1453, Construction Fee Schedule of the Code of the Township of Hillsborough, County of Somerset, State of New Jersey. These proposed changes continue to be a direct result of the 2018 code changes as adopted by the Department of Community Affairs, also known as DCA, which are costing the township more in overhead in order to enact permitting and code requirements. The time it takes for the completion of the plan review and inspections has increased, which translates into higher costs for the township. And the fees associated with the construction permit are intended to be relative to the costs incurred by the township for the plan review and inspection associated with the application. These proposed fees remain equal or below those charged by neighboring municipalities and the guidelines set by the Department of Community Affairs. And these fees will continue to be reflective of the costs associated with the permit process. It should be noted, this is the first time that those fees have increased since 2014. Again, this is this fee process really requires that those that are utilizing the services of the building department would incur those costs so that they're not spread amongst the entire population of taxpayers, and that, again, we would remain within those charges that we have both in our neighboring communities and the guidelines that are set by the government agency, the Department of Community Affairs. So may I have a motion to introduce the ordinance?
So move, Mayor.
Second.
Any comments from the dais?
I'll just reiterate, Mayor, that, again, we haven't raised the fees in quite some time, and that we do maintain that these are equal to or less than neighboring municipalities, as we are always prudent in trying to give the most quality work at the least cost as a guide.
Thank you. Anything else from the dais? Any comments from the floor? Okay, can I have a roll call, please?
Committeewoman Holmes?
Yes.
Committeeman Lapani?
Yes.
Committeewoman McCauley?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Thompson?
Yes.
Mayor Delcor?
Yes. And we'll move to 2019-09, which is an ordinance to amend, revise, and supplement Chapter 92 of the Hillsborough Township Code entitled Police Department, most notably Section 928B of the Township Code, which is entitled Promotions. This ordinance is to provide minor amendments to the police promotional process. May I have a motion to introduce the ordinance?
So move, Mayor.
Second.
Any comments from the dais? Any comments from the floor? Can I have a roll call, please?
Committeewoman Holmes?
Yes.
Committeeman Lapani?
Yes.
Committeewoman McCauley?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Thompson?
Yes.
Mayor Delcor?
Yes. We'll move to resolutions. Does anyone have, anyone on the dais wish to take any of the items on the resolution list separately?
Congratulations to hiring.
Okay, seeing none, just a few items to note. I'd like to welcome Mark Jandoli to a full-time position as a building inspector. He is unable to join us this evening because he's attending a class, but we'd like to welcome him. We're always looking for qualified inspectors. And also I'd like to welcome Barry Van Doren, who's here, and we're going to bring him on as a plumbing inspector. Barry's here with us. Please smile nice for the camera. There you go.
Mayor, if I could just address those, consideration 1 and 2. To your point, Mr. Jandoli was almost with us a year as a part-time inspector and part of our career development program. To the ranks, has done an excellent job, and actually really excited to bring him on full-time. And Mr. Van Dorn, who's obviously here today with our subcode official as well, Mr. Allett. He has over 30 years of business himself, so bringing in those type of employees that have been on that side of the house with a successful business, again, at 30 years and the experience and additional licenses that he's going to look, is going to help the township. So these are the type of employees that we're bringing in that have been extremely successful in Hillsborough with that type of experience, so welcome.
Terrific.
Mayor, and it's, I just want to note that Mark Jandoli's son was one of the hockey kids recognized tonight on the team as well.
Fantastic. Okay, may I have a motion to approve resolutions 1 through 11?
So moved, Mayor.
Second?
Any comments from the dais? Any comments from the floor? Roll call, please.
Committeewoman Holmes.
Yes.
Committeeman Lapani.
Yes, and welcome, Barry.
Committeewoman McCauley.
Yes, and congratulations.
Deputy Mayor Thompson.
Yes, congratulations.
Mayor Delcor.
Welcome aboard. Yes. We'll move to claims list. Can I have a motion to approve claims list 2019-05?
So moved.
Second?
Anything from the dais? Comments from the floor? Roll call, please.
Committeewoman Holmes.
Yes.
Committeeman Lapani.
Yes.
Committeewoman McCauley.
Yes?
Deputy Mayor Thompson.
Yes.
Mayor Delcor.
Yes. This concludes our meeting this evening. May I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved, Mayor.
Second?
All in favor?
All right.
Thank you.
Any opposed?
No.
We are adjourned. Thank you. Good night.